Good evening, Instagrammers, and welcome to Chitter Chatter today. Today, me and my guest decided that we girls don't need a particular day to dress up or doll up. We are ready to doll up every day. And I hope you all are ready with your mocktails today because Romy and I are all ready with our mocktails and we're going to have a lot of chit chat. Like y'all have seen our story, and I'm sure y'all are following her too. She is all about food, and we're going to discuss about her food journey. She's a chef, she's a food blogger, she's a food consultant, and a food jockey. Hence, our chit chat might give you a little food for thought. So, I hope y'all are all ready for chitter chatter, and let's invite Romy. Romy Bites. We hope to see you soon. Hey, Vidhi Gurati. Hey, Arif Khan. Hey, I'm Rocky Rocks. Hello.
Hello! What's
And I am all ready and all dolled up, just as you said.
Oh yes. I'm all dressed up in a party hat. You can see my party hat. I've got my big hoops on. So I'm rocking. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. But just give me 1 sec. I need to lower the phone a little bit. Just a little bit. Give me a sec.
What's up? So thank you everyone for joining our Chitter Chatter. Hello Vivek Kapoor. Hello Baby
That's it.
Khan.
I think that's better.
That is perfectly fine. So Romy, how is it going? We keep hearing your food podcast. We keep seeing the food blogs, the entire food journey, all set for this chit chat because we want to know all about the food.
Absolutely. I'm here at your service, ma'am. Let's
But
start with
before
a
we
nice cheers.
cheers to that.
Ooh, I like the colorful us, yellow and rosé and blue and green, and I'm wearing blue. In case you can't
Blue,
see, I'm
blue.
wearing blue.
I'm like blue, green, yellow, name it and the colors here.
Blue, green. I love your bell sleeves. They're so amazing. They're so fun. It's just fun. It spells fun.
And that's what our chit
So,
chat is going to be all
where should
about
we start?
fun.
Where should
Where
we
did your
start?
journey of food start? When did you get so serious about food? Tell us about that.
Okay. Um, well, my journey of food started a really long time ago, actually, because um, I've always been fond of food, and my first food achievement, so to speak, happened when I was 4, maybe 5 years old, and I was in the kitchen with my daija, and she wanted to keep an eye on me, and I was like really little and I was really naughty, so I would go all over the house and bother everyone. So it was unfortunately her task to keep me under control and see that I don't get up to any pranks. So that would mean that I would end up spending a lot of time in the kitchen, which is where I kind of got used to the flavors of food being cooked in big handis, because we had a large family at that time, and different kinds of things, because as a Bengali, obviously we love exploring different flavors and textures, and we're very particular about a certain kind of dish that needs to taste and look a certain way. So it's very finessed, and she was a very good cook. So she would be cooking, I would be sitting next to her, and she would just give me a little bit of dough to play with. आटा डो मतलब आटा गूंद के दे दिया मुझे कि खेल लो बस. So now I would sit and I would start playing with that, and I would see her beloing the rotis, the chapatis, to make, and I got very excited because I took a dough ball and I rolled it out, and it was the perfect round chapati that I beloed at whatever 4 years old, and
Wow.
that was like the thrill of my life. I really can't explain how exciting that achievement was. So that's probably what started off the journey. I ended up spending a lot more time in the kitchen, not with my daija. Then it happened with my mom, and I would always ask her all these annoying questions like how much sugar will you put in suji ka halwa, or how much salt are you putting in the mutton curry. But you know, most cooks, they cook the food. People who are really good with flavors, they cook the food andaza, right? You take a pinch of this, you put it, and then you will taste it, and you say, no, it's not right. Let me add this, add that, add this, add that. So I could never ever get a recipe out of anyone in my family ever. It had to be that I learned on the spot, at the kitchen, standing there, seeing them, seeing what they're doing, and that's why I'm also the a kind of chef who cooks andaza mein, because I can never tell you. If you ask me a recipe for anything, I'll say no. That's the end of my life. Because I can't for my life write a recipe, and all my friends know that. They put me on the spot and they'll say, "Give me the recipe for this. Tell me how you made that." And I say, "Oh God, lo, ho gaya mera kaam." So it's a tough thing to write a recipe when you're cooking that way. But you know, I understand, because there are a lot of people there's so much excitement around food nowadays, right? Because
Totally.
especially with the lockdown and people getting so excited at home, you want to explore your creativity, and you want to give wings to your creativity in the cooking field, because that's something that you're doing anyway in the kitchen. So why not make it creative? And it's amazing how many home chefs have come up, and not just come up, they started doing business, and not just business, rocking business. So it's good times for people who are home chefs, who are in the food industry, and I wish everyone all the best. I've tried a lot of home chefs actually. Have you tried home
I
chefs?
have tried quite a few, and I must say all of them are amazing. I think pandemic has done them good because this side of theirs they would
Yeah,
have never tapped if, this situation would not come up. So I think adversity
yeah.
always leads to something good. And that is what has happened with the whole food blogging and the food cooking and so many chefs out there. So Romy, tell
Yeah,
me, what
yeah, and
was
this
this dish
this
that
niche.
you tried? What dish did you try in Corona which was like killer? You're like, this dish was like the best that I have tried or made.
Oh, oh, I actually have tried quite a few dishes
Yeah, we keep
which have
seeing those.
really yeah. So yeah, because I keep doing the GNR Sunday brunch, right? The Canyon Sunday brunch, and every Sunday there are home chefs, there are five-star hotels, there are restaurants, cafes who send me an entire spread for my GNR Canyon table, and I put it out there. So some of the things that really come to mind are, one was of course bawa zest by Sharon, which is the Parsi food, the bawa food. Oh, it was amazing. Then there was a home chef called Zilo who did some really good spinach and ricotta quiches, and a pecan pie. Oh my God, that was so good. That pecan pie, I can dive into any day. It was amazing.
Sunday we fear going online on Insta because the moment we see your post, then ऐसे लगता है अरे हम तो सिर्फ कॉफी पी रहे हैं. What is this happening?
But it's all a build up to what we'll be doing together once everything settles down and it's normal. Then you know the kind of amazing get-togethers that we have
We
with
do. Yes,
the
I have been
entire
missing all
team.
of that.
Yeah, yeah. And Gordo, who's right here. So it's a lot of fun, and it is not later, sooner rather than later. So plans afoot to get together for sure.
For sure. And fingers are crossed for it to have it really soon.
So
So,
you
during
tell
the
me now, what
lockdown,
have you been
what
up to
me? I
during
am
the
enjoying my
lockdown?
chitter chatter with all of you, enjoying that. 8 o'clock Sharma ji ki Antakshari hum dekhte hain har din. So that is what is keeping me
Ah,
busy in
right.
lockdown.
Yes.
And obviously painting is going on, reading is going on. So the usual is just that instead of fluttering outside, I'm calling the guests live and fluttering with them online.
And that's, isn't that an amazing way of staying busy? Because you're connecting with friends, you're doing chitter chatter with them, so you're chatting about their lives, what plans they have, what they've been doing. But there's also such a huge family of the Instagram family joining you and being part of that conversation. And I think that's amazing. That's a big plus that has happened during the lockdown. I think at, I really, when I look back to maybe March and I think about the kind of connections that we weren't chatting with as many people or meeting up with as
True.
many people on a regular basis, right? I think
I think we've
we have
connected
a,
more in social
yeah,
distancing.
we have, yeah,
We've
we have
socially
indeed.
connected while social distancing is the right thing to say.
Yes, that's a good one.
So, since we're talking about the Instagram family who come, join us, who support us, because of whom we keep ourselves busy, we keep posting for them, how did the
Yeah.
whole food blogging journey start for you?
It started actually, I've always been in corporate in marketing. So I've been in marketing positions all my life, like earlier work life. So I was working with MTV, with Disney, with Planet M. I was part of the original team of Planet M, which set up a lot of Planet M stores across the country. So we started with about 3 stores, and then we went up to about 120 stores, including franchises. So that was the kind of expansion that we looked at. So I was looking at marketing for that. Did a lot of exciting stuff at Planet M. Like we met up with so many different artists, international artists, Indian artists, movie stars, singers, musicians. It was amazing how big this family is, and yet how small it is. Because then you feel connected to everyone, and the whole world is your oyster. So that was Planet M. Then it was Disney. I was looking after merchandise. Then MTV also, MTV, VH1, Nickelodeon. After MTV, I said, look, I've done enough of marketing of products for other people. I need to do something which is completely me, because I was doing writing. I was doing writing on the side. I was doing press releases. I was writing a little bit of poetry for myself, but never published, never really uh, shown to anyone or shared with anyone, and very private. So I kept it completely to myself. And then I said, I love food and I love writing. So let me just marry the two and let me do something around that. And just one fine day, I quit. I quit MTV and I said, enough is enough. I want to do something for myself. And that's when I started writing and writing and writing. And interestingly, the first thing that I did when I quit MTV was I started writing for a dating magazine based out of New York. So it was
Okay.
so much fun, yeah, because I was writing about all these, and this was all before your bumblebees and your and all your
Tinder
dating
and
apps
all
that
of
came
those
up. Yeah,
apps
yeah,
that
the
have today.
Tinders and everything. This is like much before. This is purely when you would have like a you would meet on Facebook, or you would have like a meetup on a shadi matrimonial wala site. Then what do you do? So e-meeting, and from e to basically to meeting in person, long distance relationships. All of these we would talk about, and I would write about. Just give me one sec. Go. So sorry. So there was a somebody at the door. Um, so yeah, so I was writing about that. It was a lot of fun, and it went on for about a year. And while I was doing that, I realized that I'm enjoying writing about food more than I'm enjoying writing about anything else. So then it became narrowed down to completely food, and then I started writing about food alone. And when I started writing about food, then a lot of people invited me for reviews to meet people, meet chefs, meet restaurateurs, and so one thing led into
Led
another.
to another.
And because in this industry, like any industry, everyone knows everyone. So it's like one massive family and yet one small family, because it's everyone is known to everyone. So that's how it became a passion. Like it grew into more of a passion, and I started writing more and more, and then Instagram happened. Initially it was Facebook and my blog, which is Follow the Eaten Path. Then Instagram happened, and shorter format of blogs and reviews. So that happened. So that's basically my journey of getting into food blogging and doing influencer content. But now what I'm focusing on is having fun with food, and I'm really enjoying that because
And we
it
enjoy
is
it
all
too. The moment
about
your food
enjoyment.
podcast and all come, it's so much fun. Like, I enjoy every food
Yeah.
podcast. Like, you're the best food jockey here, I must
Thank
say
you.
that.
Thank you. Yeah, food jockey. So I do two radio shows. So those are completely different from the podcasts that I do. So on radio, one radio show is about it's in Hindi. So I like struggle in Hindi because I'm Bengali. There is no gender sensitivity in Bengali, but there is in Hindi. So then your ka ke ki have to be in the right place. So I'm always checking with G. Is this okay? Is this okay? So that is a bit of a fight, but I manage all right. I've been doing it for the last 4 years, so it's okay now. Like I'm in a good space with the Fever show, with the Fever FM show. So that is more like a magazine where I talk about food in the city and it could be the five best samosas of the city, or it could be the top 10 chai tapris in the monsoons that you can go to. So it becomes very city specific, city centric. It's a flavor of the city. It's also very mass. So because radio is a mass medium, it's also very mass, and you're speaking to a huge cross section of people, right? I mean, all over, from all walks of life, from all professions. Can be anywhere. They could be in their college canteen, or in a rickshaw, or in a train, or at their workplace, wherever. So it's a huge cross section. The other one that I do is called Songs That Make You Hungry.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
and it's on Radio 1. And that came up fairly recently. We've just done some 28 shows, 30 shows maybe we've done. And it's all about picking a song every week which has something to do with food in it. Usually the food is in the title, but it's something to do with food, and we are having such a riot with this because it's amazing how many people have written songs on taking the name of a food or a food item as something to sing about and compose a song about. And like for example, Harry Styles is watermelon and kiwi. Nick Jonas is bacon and olive and an arrow. So there are so many. Beatles has strawberry fields. I was just listening to a song called "The Bacon Roll" by Mark Knopfler. So there are like these legends who've written about food and composed songs around food, and there are the really new trending people right now who are writing songs about food, like Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga has a song called "Sour Candy." And so it's quite amazing. The whole world of music and food is quite fascinating, and having a great time doing that. And
Since
then
we're
of
talking
course
about
there's the
songs and
podcast
food,
where
tell me your Bollywood favorite songs where food is concerned. If you have to right now say a song which has food in it
there
and a
are
Bollywood one.
so many. So the most popular ones, of course, are "मैं तो रास्ते से जा रहा
That
था,
was exactly
भेलपुरी
playing.
खा
Bhelpuri
रहा
kha raha
था."
tha.
Yeah, yeah. So then there is that there is a Mithun song. You will not believe it. You have to look it up. There's a Mithun song where he is beating up the baddies and he's singing the song which has everything to do with food. So there is this line called "Chappal chow chow, karate chop swing." Judo chili chicken.
I have to see this after our live.
It is a bloody amazing song. Oh gosh. And तुझको मिर्ची लगी तो मैं क्या करूं? Then there you are my chicken fry. कभी ना कहना करिए bye 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 bye. Oops, you're frozen.
Am I back? Am I back?
It's a bit of a sorry. There's a bit of a lag happening. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Can you see me and hear me now?
Okay, I can see you, but you're kind of there is a bit of a delay, pixelating.
Now?
Still
Is it better?
pixelating, but better. Yeah, better. Now
Better? Okay. And tell us about your podcast.
okay, so podcast is kind of like an extension of the radio show Songs That Make You Hungry, where I talk about a song which is to do with food, but this is more storytelling. It's more about stories around food. So because radio shows, it has to be quick. The people listening to it on the go, so you hardly have any time to explore the song, the trivia behind the song, the artist, the video, etc., etc. You touch on it. You touch on a couple of points on radio, but what I do on the podcast is I go into a lot more details and bring out a lot of research on the making of the song or the making of the video of the song. Like, to give you an example, I did Sugar by Maroon 5, and the whole making of the video, which was directed by a movie director, the same director who directed The Wedding Crashers. And he directed Wedding Crashers and he made this music video for Maroon 5, which was something to do with wedding crashing, because the whole video is about them going as wedding singers and crashing these weddings on the same day and then performing for the bride and groom and the guests. So very interesting things, trivia come up when you do research on that. And then of course you get into the entire food part of the song, and there I bring out a lot of history of the food. For example, if you take sugar, then when did sugar first happen? Interestingly, sugar came from sugarcane, and sugarcane origins can be traced to India. So India is where sugarcane was first cultivated. So we are like the fathers of sugar.
That's why you're so sweet.
Sugar.
That's why we Indians are so sweet. There is no doubt there.
Yes, that's why we are so sweet. So there's a lot of interesting stories that come up when which I talk about on my podcast, and then it's also because the podcast is about talking. It's like a personal conversation with a food romantic. So it's not just enough to be a foodie. Foodie is like basic level. This is foodie plus plus plus, because you need to be obsessed with food. You need to be a food romantic. You need to know your
Yeah.
food. You need to love food. So that is
You actually need to romance the food that you
absolutely.
are hearing about, talking about, and eating.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like food is your mehbooba, that kind of thing.
Ha! Uday. So, Miss
Yeah.
Foodie, tell me something. Abhi pandemic mein cafes and all are opening, and you have also been stepping out a little, enjoying the new restaurants. The other day you were having a brunch at Renaissance. So, what are the precautions to be taken when you're going out?
Okay, very good question, and that's something that I've been talking on my Instagram posts and on the even on the Renaissance post. I talked about it because that was the first time that we stepped out of the house for a meal, and it was like we were scared shit, because when anything for the first time you're doing it, you're very alert and conscious of what's going on around you, and and guys, it's okay to be that. It's okay because it's your life. It's your life in your hands, and you need to protect yourself from whatever it is that is there, which is unseen. It's something that you can't see. So you need to take the precautions that you need to take, right? So of course, mask in place and not worn over here, on the nose, covering your nose and mouth and around your ears, and never ever touch the mask here. Always take it off from here, put it on the side, and then wear it again from here. So you're only touching the strings or the elastic, you're not touching the mask itself. That is very, very important. And in fact, Neena Gupta, Neena ji has just done a video on Insta. She was also talking about the same thing, that please don't grab your mask from here, do it from here, around the ears. So mask, sanitizer, always carry a sanitizer. Do not count on the sanitizers that you may not get over there, because you don't know what quality it is. So always go for a sanitizer which has at least 65% alcohol in it. That is important again. That is number 2. If you're going out, book a table first at the place that you're going to, and preferably go to a place which is opened out, either open air, or it has enough room, is very spacious, has high ceilings, so there's enough air circulation that's happening. For now, avoid smaller cafes and micro cafes and little places, because it gets congested and it gets cramped. And if there is somebody who is an asymptomatic carrier who has been inside there, then it is going to be a problem. So that is number 3. Number 4 is you need to make sure before you go that the restaurant is following all the protocols. And right now, they are more than happy to tell you what they're doing, because they want you to come to the restaurants and they want you to have a good time. So call them up, ask them all the questions. Ask them, do you have like a printed menu, or do you have an e-menu? I don't want to use an e-menu. And that's a good idea. It's a good idea to not use a printed menu. Use an e-menu. Almost all restaurants will have a menu which you can access with that, what is that thing called? That scan thingy. That scan
Okay.
graphic thingy. So you can take your phone, just scan it, and it
The
opens up the
barcode.
menu of the
Okay.
restaurant, and you just click. Yeah. So don't touch the menu, because it's been to a lot of other tables. Don't order from the menu, from a physical menu. Order from the e-menu. And when you go to the restaurant, ensure that you are sitting at least 6 feet away from the next table, and that people are taking care, etc. And if people are not, you have the right to complain. Yeah, you can tell the management, hello, I am following the rules. Why aren't other people following the rules? Why aren't the other guests following the rules? So do that. It's not rude. It's not impolite. Do it, because that is what they are supposed to do. You are right. They're wrong. That's something that you should follow. And when you're another thing that you could probably do is, if you're dying to go out and you want to try something like really nice at this restaurant which you did earlier before lockdown, and you want to go and taste it again, it's probably a good idea to look up whether it's still on the menu, because some signature dishes may not be on the menu, because there have been a lot of there's a lot of churn that's happened from the servers, from the kitchen staff point of view. So the menus have also undergone changes. So that's why maybe you should call them up and ask them if they have it on the menu. Because if you're going out for that and it's not there on the menu when you arrive at the restaurant, then it's just, oh God,
True.
I made the whole
It's
effort.
going to be really disappointing, if you especially go all the way for that one thing. That too, after like waiting for so many days and months, it can really be disappointing.
Yeah. But you know what? There's one thing that I was very impressed with, which Renaissance did. And I'm taking Renaissance because I was very impressed, and I think everyone should follow their norms. You know, what they did was they had the Sunday buffet. But the buffet was not laid out like you go to the counters and you take your plate and you pick food and then you go back to your table and eat. So what they've done is they've done these really pretty displays of all the dishes that are available on the buffet, but you can't touch it. It's behind glass. It's undercover. Yeah. So you just go there. There will be a person standing next to the counter. he will take your order for whatever you want to eat, and then you give them the table number, and they will bring the food to your table. And that way, you're also ensured that you're getting hot, fresh food from the kitchen to your table, and it hasn't been contaminated because it hasn't been lying open in the air. You had a look at the food as well, so you know kind of what it looks like. And I think it's a win-win for everyone, because I felt very comfortable going and having the brunch at Renaissance, because it was done very neatly and hygienically.
So,
So
all
yeah.
Instagrammers, I hope you all have heard all the precautions that one should take when you're stepping out. There's no harm stepping out, but these are the precautions you have to take. And in case you haven't, or you want to share it with your friends, this chat is going to be on my IGTV and also on YouTube and Spotify. So, do share it with people and do watch it and spread the word about precautions to be taken when you're stepping out. Okay, Romy, now we're going to play a quick game before we end our chitter chatter. So, there are a few food idioms since it's all about food, and you have to answer really quickly. You don't
Okay.
get enough time to think, okay?
Oh, okay.
When did
Be
you
careful
have to
when you come.
butter someone?
Sorry.
Sharma ji is saying something. I can't hear you, Sharma ji. Could you be louder?
I am just warning Romy that she needs to be careful of this round.
Hello, you haven't even played. Don't cheat and don't help her also, okay? Otherwise, when I come on our Antakshari, you see what I do.
Okay, let's go. Rapid fire
Okay.
round. Yeah.
Yes. When did you have to butter someone up?
Sorry, I didn't get that at all.
So I'm going to use only food idioms. When did you have to butter someone up?
Butter someone up. When did I have to butter someone up?
Yeah.
Okay. My boss, when I was working in MTV, yeah, all the time. But thankfully,
What?
after that, I haven't.
Not Sharma ji, half the time. कि please
Never.
छोड़ दो.
Never. He'll do things for me anyway. I don't have to butter him.
Okay, which task is a piece of cake for you?
Wait. Sorry, once again, there was a lag.
Which task is a piece of cake for you?
Which task?
And you have frozen.
Cooking.
I knew this would be the answer. See, I'm giving you such easy questions and he was warning you.
Actually, cooking, well, cooking can be a piece of cake. It can be a very lengthy process and therefore not a piece of cake either. But I get a lot of pleasure out of it. So I don't mind, even if it's a slow cooking, and I love slow cooking. Even if it's a slow cooking thing, I love cooking. So it's a piece of cake for me. Either ways.
Who is the apple of your eye?
Oh, my Chomu is my apple, is the apple of my eye. The Chomu, the the Sharma ji, the great Sharma ji is the apple of my eye.
ओह शर्मा जी की स्माइल तो देखो यहाँ पे नहीं है फिर भी हमें पता है कितनी बड़ी स्माइल आ रही है
बिल्कुल खुश हो रहा है वो, बहुत खुश हो रहा है.
Sharma ji, this question was specially for you. So I get some more brownie points. Huh? I'm telling you now only.
Full on brownie points you'll get.
Okay.
Next.
What makes you go banana?
What makes bananas? Oh, that's a tough one. Okay. If things are not done, okay, I have to confess, I have major OCD, okay? And if things are not arranged properly on the kitchen shelf or in the house, it makes me go bananas.
Does Sharma ji also have OCD?
No, he doesn't, thankfully. Otherwise,
Oh my god.
boom, boom.
Yeah,
Okay.
but because of that, of course, I go crazy, right? Because she has the OCD. So I just wanted to
See,
clarify.
before the banana thing, she took your name as you're the apple of the eye. So you cannot say anything.
That is.
That's see,
That is
that
true.
I've got the brownie points, है ना?
Look,
I asked that question to get you in the
From
frame. So
India.
I get the brownie points.
This is, huh?
Okay.
Next.
Next one. How do you manage to be full of beans all the time?
Full of beans all the time. I think that I think some of it is because I just believe that we go up
We have lost you.
wherever you are, whatever point you are.
Oh,
Can you hear me? I think it's frozen again.
no, I lost
Better?
you. So I'm going to repeat the question. How do you manage to be full of beans all the time?
Okay. Two parts to that. One part is that I'm basically a very positive, very optimistic, very out there kind of person, full of energy. So, what I believe is that the only way is up. Whichever point you are in your life or in your day or in the moment, it will always go up. So it's something that you should always believe in, and I believe in that a lot. That everything is going to get better. Things will get better. That is one part of it. The other part of it is Horlicks.
Okay. अब हॉर्लिक्स पीना पड़ेगा.
So it's like saying Boost is the secret of my energy. So Horlicks is the secret of half my energy.
Now I see where the sugar rush comes from. So, what is your mantra of life to stay as cool as cucumber?
Okay, say that again. Sorry, the first part of the question I missed.
What is the mantra of life to stay as cool as cucumber?
As cool as cucumber. Oh God, I'm the wrong person to ask that. Yeah. I'm like always stressed from the time I wake up in the morning till the time I go to sleep. I'm like on like 10 plus 1 energy and stress, and you have to do this, you have to do that, I have to finish this, I have to complete that. So cool as cucumber only happens when, I don't know, probably when I'm not probably when I'm sitting next to a poolside and sipping a nice cocktail. That is the only time that I will, yeah, a cocktail as beautiful as the one that you're drinking. Yeah,
Cheers to that.
that is the only time. Cheers, that I will probably be cool as cucumber, but not otherwise.
And before we end our chitter chatter, what's your food for thought for today for our chitter chatter, for our chit chat?
Okay, food for thought. Um, I think food is an adventure, and it's an adventure that everyone should dive into in your own way. I think everyone should experience food in their own personal way, and I think that is something that a lot of people don't do because it becomes all about, oh, what is the other person doing, I have to follow that, I have to do that. So it's become a lot about trends and about what has become a meme or what has become a trend or what is popular. But I think everyone should find their own little private personal food adventure and enjoy that food adventure to the fullest. And that is my food for thought for today, for any day of the year.
Thank you. On this note, I would like to thank you for our chitter chatter and for a great time and for a great evening. And
Cheers! Thank you, thanks, Shweta. I'm so happy to have done this with you. I was really looking forward to chatting with you and sharing all the amazing conversations that we have had. I really loved it. Thank you. Mwah.
Thank you. See you soon.
See ya.